shadows like angry fists that night. Inside, a young black woman named Maya stood trembling, her eyes swollen from tears, her heart beating so fast she could barely breathe. She clutched a letter in her shaking hands, a letter she never imagined she'd have to write. She was the maid. He was the billionaire. And their secret was about to destroy everything. Maya had worked for Mr. William Carter, one of the richest men in the city, for almost 2 years. She had been quiet, kind, and visible until one night when loneliness and vulnerability blurred the lines between servant and master. What followed was something she could never take back. Now, months later, her body carried a truth that terrified her. "Sir, I need to speak with you," she whispered as she stood outside his office door, clutching her stomach protectively. "Not now, Maya," came his irritated voice. "It's important." He sighed loudly, pushing away from his laptop. "What is it?" Maya stepped inside, her heart sinking as she saw him, perfectly composed in his tailored suit, his world neat and controlled, while hers was falling apart. "I'm pregnant," she said softly. For a moment, silence filled the room. The clock ticked. The storm outside seemed to pause. Then his jaw tightened. "Whose is it?" Maya's lips trembled. "Yours." William's face hardened instantly, all emotion wiped away. He stood slowly, his expression turning to cold disbelief. "That's impossible." "It's not," she whispered, her eyes glassy with tears. "You know it's yours." He laughed, not out of humor, but anger. "Do you have any idea what you're saying? Do you know what this would do to me, to my family, my reputation?" "I'm not asking for anything," she cried. "I just thought you should know." He turned away sharply, pouring himself a glass of whiskey. "You're making a mistake, Maya. Whatever you think happened, it meant nothing. And if you're trying to—" "I'm not trying to trap you," she interrupted, voice cracking. "You think I want this? You think I wanted to fall for you?" The glass in his hand shook slightly, but he didn't turn around. "You'll get a check," he muttered coldly. "Take care of it." Maya froze. "Take care? You mean?" "End it," he said, still not facing her. This conversation never happened. Her heart shattered into pieces. "You can't mean that." But he did. Tears streamed down her face as she backed toward the door. "One day," she whispered, "you'll see him, or her, and you'll remember this moment. And it'll haunt you." He didn't reply. She left. And that night, under the heavy rain, Maya walked away from the mansion that had once felt like safety, now just another place that had broken her. Months passed. Her belly grew. She worked 2 jobs, slept in a tiny apartment, and held on to hope for her unborn child. Meanwhile, William carried on with his perfect life, business meetings, charity galas, and lies. But something about that night haunted him. Sometimes, late at night, he thought he heard her voice, trembling, hurt, filled with truth. Still, his pride wouldn't let him admit it. Until one day, he received a phone call that would change everything. "Mr. Carter," said a trembling nurse's voice. "There's something you need to see. It's about Maya." His blood ran cold. He dropped everything and rushed to the hospital. What he saw when he got there would shake the billionaire's world to its very core. The automatic hospital doors slid open, letting in a rush of cold air, and William Carter, pale, shaken, unrecognizable from the man who used to command entire boardrooms with a glance. He hadn't slept. He hadn't even grabbed his coat. He just ran. "Maya Thompson," he gasped to the nurse at the front desk. "You called me, what happened?" The nurse, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, hesitated. "Sir, she just gave birth. She's weak, but stable. The baby," she stopped herself. "You'd better come see for yourself." William's heart slammed in his chest as he followed her down the sterile hallway. Every step felt like a lifetime. When they entered the room, the air felt heavy. The blinds were half drawn, the faint sunlight catching the edge of a crying newborn wrapped in a soft blue blanket. Maya lay pale but conscious, her eyes red and tired. The moment she saw him, her lips trembled. "What are you doing here?" "I got the call," he whispered, staring at her, then at the baby. "You should have told me." "I did," she replied weakly. "You just didn't want to hear it." He froze. He wanted to argue, to defend himself, but he couldn't. Not when that tiny baby turned his head and looked right at him. Those eyes. Those impossibly sharp, piercing blue eyes, the exact shade of William's. His entire body went numb. His throat tightened, his knees nearly buckled. The room seemed to spin. Maya's tired voice broke the silence. "He has your eyes, doesn't he?" William took a step forward, then another, until he stood over the crib. The baby blinked up at him, innocent and pure, the living proof of everything he tried to deny. He whispered, almost to himself, "Dear God." Tears burned behind his eyes, tears he hadn't shed in years. "How could I have done this to you?" he murmured. Maya looked away, her voice flat and fragile. "Because to you, I was just the help. Someone who didn't deserve to be believed. But he's yours, William. Every bit of him." The silence stretched like a wound. Then, a voice from the doorway. "Mr. Carter?" William turned. It was his wife. Evelyn Carter, elegant, composed, and furious. "What is going on here?" she demanded, her gaze darting from Maya to the baby, then to him. "Who is this woman?" Maya tried to sit up, but her voice broke. "Please, I don't want any trouble." "Trouble?" Evelyn snapped. "You have my husband running to a hospital for your child?" "Enough." William roared suddenly, startling everyone. "You don't understand." "No, I understand perfectly," Evelyn hissed, her face pale with rage. "This is what you've been hiding? This?" The baby began to cry. Maya tried to calm him, tears streaming down her cheeks. William's hands shook uncontrollably. For the first time, the billionaire who thought he controlled everything realized he had lost it all. "Maya," he whispered, "I'll take care of you both. I'll make it right." She turned her face away. "It's too late for that." Before he could speak again, the nurse rushed in. "Please, we can't have shouting in here. Miss Thompson needs rest." Evelyn's eyes burned with betrayal. "You disgust me." She stormed out, slamming the door. William stood frozen, torn between the ruins of his perfect life and the fragile heartbeat of the baby who had his eyes. He looked down one last time, and something inside him broke. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. But Maya was already closing her eyes, too weak to reply. Outside the room, reporters were already gathering. The story was spreading fast, Billionaire's secret child with Maid flashing across phone screens everywhere. William's world, his money, his empire, his name, meant nothing now. Only one thing mattered. And he was about to lose it. The morning after the scandal broke, William Carter's name was everywhere. Every news outlet, every gossip blog, every trending hashtag screamed the same thing. Billionaire denies Maid's pregnancy, then meets the baby. He stood in his penthouse office, blinds drawn, watching his empire crumble from the 42nd floor. Investors were backing out. His board had called for an emergency meeting. And on the table in front of him, a copy of the New York Times, featuring his picture beside Maya's, and the baby's tiny face blurred for privacy. He barely noticed when his assistant, trembling, entered the room. "Sir, security says there's someone downstairs asking for you." She hesitated, "Maya Thompson." William's heart stopped. When Maya walked in moments later, she looked nothing like the woman he once knew. She wasn't weak anymore. She wasn't silent. She was calm, steady, and holding the baby in her arms. He swallowed hard. "Maya, you shouldn't have come here. It's chaos out there. The press." "I didn't come for your sympathy," she interrupted softly. "I came to tell you. I'm leaving. Leaving? Yes. The baby and I are moving out of state. I don't want your money. I don't want your name. Her voice cracked slightly. All I wanted was for you to believe me when it mattered. William took a step closer, guilt heavy in his chest. You have every right to hate me. But please, let me be part of his life. Let me do something. Maya looked at him, tears glimmering in her eyes. You already did. You taught me never to depend on anyone to give me worth. She turned to leave, but the baby stirred, reaching one tiny hand toward William. Their eyes met again, blue meeting blue. And in that moment, something inside William shattered completely. He dropped to his knees. Maya, I don't deserve forgiveness, but I'm begging you. Please. Don't take him away without letting me fix what I broke. She hesitated at the door. The city lights glowed behind her like fire. You can't fix this with money, William. The only thing he'll ever need from you is truth. Be the man he can be proud of someday. And then she was gone. For weeks, William disappeared from the public eye. He resigned as CEO. His billion-dollar empire was sold off piece by piece. People called him a fool, a disgrace, a scandal that never should have happened. But what they didn't know was, he had started volunteering quietly at a children's home, under a false name. Reading to kids, helping single mothers, trying to learn what it meant to be human again. Months later, he got a small letter in the mail. No return address. Just a folded photo. Maya, holding the baby, now older, smiling. And at the bottom, in neat handwriting. His name is Eli. He's walking now. William smiled through tears. For the first time, it wasn't regret he felt. It was hope. He whispered to himself, "Thank you, for giving me another chance to be better." William muttered softly, "You can lose all the wealth in the world, but if you still have the chance to do right, you haven't lost everything." If this story touched your heart, please take a second to hit that like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more emotional Black stories just like this one. Because sometimes, redemption comes from the most unexpected places.